Hey, what is up guys, Probe here, and I'm back with a Protoss vs Zerg guide for you today. I've got a Chargelot Archon Timing that's really strong, and you can catch greedy Zerg players off guard with. And if they don't see it coming, even the prepared ones will fall to it. It's very powerful, this Chargelot Archon Timing. It's something I used in DreamHack Masters Oceania. I used it in the last game of our series against Risky. And it caught him off guard and did a lot of damage. That's the game that we're going to be looking at today, so let's just jump right in and get this underway. Like I said, Chargelot Archon Timing, and this kind of build order has been popular in the past, and it's starting to get a tiny bit more popular. I think in general it's a decent build, but if it gets scouted out, it can actually fall a bit flat, right? Roaches are really powerful against this. If they can ball up, then they can overwhelm it. So we're trying to hit multiple angles at once and hit a really sharp timing that does a lot of damage to the Zerg player, kills a bunch of drones, maybe kills the fourth base, this kind of stuff. And of course you can transition out of it into a more macro game, but you are committing. Okay, so in this game I started off by sending my first probe, like at the start of the game. As I build my first probe and I send one of my probes straight across the map. And he gets here and he blocks the hatchery. If you want to, on the current map pool, want to block the hatchery, this is the timing to send your probe. It's really powerful. And as we can see, it forces him to take the third base. And the idea, and I was doing this all during the series, the idea behind this is you want to block the natural and then send adepts across the map really quickly. And because the creep is disconnected here, all their drones are rallying to here, and you know, this base isn't finished yet. You can be really annoying with the first two adepts and get a lot of damage done. So that's the general reason why I do this kind of scout. And of course it's really good as well, you can see if they're 12 fooling you and whatnot, you know, you get a lot of information. Apart from that, it's just very standard. You go gate first, then gas. You rally your 20th probe, so you have 16 guys on minerals, 1 guy mining gas. You rally the next probe down to the natural to build a nexus. And this guy can mine some minerals and then build a cybernetics core. Okay. Very standard. Let's just speed this up a tiny bit. Now, actually, I will just say one thing about scouting. A really popular build at the moment is a Zergling Flood. And it's really tough to scout because, you know, they can take 3 bases and still do the Zergling Flood. And this probe in their main base right now is key. Okay, this is the key to defeating this Ling Flood build. This probe, as you're going to see, hopefully I don't screw it up or anything like this, he's going to be patrolling, or he's going to be patrolling here and here. I'm looking for any Zerglings running across the map. I'm trying to make sure no Zerglings are able to sneak across the map. And most importantly, I'm going to be scouting for a third base. And any Zerglings coming up this way. Okay. And once my adept starts to get to the other side of the map, then I'm like, okay, I can send this probe home. Now you notice that I see 2 Zerglings here, so I'm worried about Zerglings out on the map. And as we can see, these 2 Zerglings are running by. If I saw with my probe 4 Zerglings chasing it, I would send this adept straight across. But I think in this game I might choose to keep this adept at home just to shut down more vision. As we can see, I'm going Stargate. It is a Stargate opener. Chrono boost out your second adept. But of course, I know there's Zerglings out on the map, so I should have left it in the wall. It's okay, I made a mistake and he ends up seeing the Stargate. I wanted to be really aggressive with that adept, and it cost me. That's fine. We still shut this down, hopefully sometime soon. Yeah. Oracle started. Chrono boost that. Now you don't need to worry about getting the fastest gases with this build. The general build order is we're now going to look to take a third base. So our gases can come down around 3 minutes 45. And just before we take a third base, I don't know if you guys remember some of the older builds that I showed. Oftentimes you'd be adding a robo right now, right? We'd take a robo, then a third nexus. In this game we're going to be doing it differently. We're going to be taking a Twilight Council before we take our third base. And this gives us a really nice DT timing The DTs aren't even going to be used as DTs, they're just going to be used straight for Archons. But obviously DT Archons cost less than High Templar Archons in gas, and gas is the limiting factor in any Protoss build. So that's why we do this. So as you can see, building Twilight Council, then I'm going down to take a third base, nice and quickly. I didn't warp in any units, anything like this. I can use this Oracle to help secure the third base. When I sent my first Oracle across the map, it got shut down, don't worry about that, just focus on the build order at home. In this game specifically, against Risky, I chose to build a Phoenix to shut down this Overlord and this path for vision, as you guys will see later. It was very instrumental in my victory, but you don't have to get this Phoenix, and cutting it actually saves you quite a bit. Okay, let's get back into it. We're going to take a third base. And then the build order from here is pretty straightforward. We add our Dark Shrine. Because this is Death Aura, I actually did one gate expand. You should build this second gateway earlier, but that's fine. Doesn't overly matter. Just imagine this gateway is already finished. Then we add Robo and Forge at the exact same time. Okay, at the same time, both of them go down after the Dark Shrine. And then we go up to 8 gateways. So start adding them as soon as you can, 5 minutes 30. I didn't cut probes at 16 or something like this. I kept building them, as you can see, up till 23. Definitely you want to overbuild probes so you can, you know, box these, send them over to the third as soon as it finishes. And yeah, there we go. I've added 6 more gateways, going up to 8 gateways total. I'll start +1 attack and chrono boost this, chrono boost this. I'll start charge, we chrono boost this. And out of our Robo, as soon as it finishes, we build our Warp Prism, and then the very next thing we build is another Warp Prism. This is a 2 Warp Prism build. Okay, the first Warp Prism, as we will see, is going to pick up 2 Archons. We warp in 4 DTs and 2 Archons. I'll also just note that we warp in 2 Sentries. So our warp ins out of our gateways are, you know, the Adepts, the Stalker, and then we just warp in 2 more Sentries. If they send Zerglings across the map, you can, you know, keep warping in Zealots or Adepts, that's fine. But don't warp in any more Sentries because you are gas starved with this build. So there we go, first Warp Prism is out. We have 8 gateways finished and we build 2 Archons and put it in. We then send this Warp Prism all the way around the map. You can take your time with this because you want to be hitting the front and dropping in his main base at the exact same time. So this guy goes all the way up here. I think he even chills for a bit. He just waits. Perfect. The very next thing we do is we warp in 4 more DTs, 2 more Archons, and then it's a Zealot production from here on out. Make sure you're building pylons so you're not getting supply blocked. 8 gateways worth of Zealots. If you think about that, that's 16 supply. So that means every time you warp in, you need to warp in at least 2 pylons to not get supply blocked. This is just a great tip for any Protoss player out there. I actually learned this from watching Zerg players play. Every time they build a round of units, they always build 2 or 3 Overlords first, right? And they just never ever get supply blocked. You can do the exact same thing with Protoss. Every time you do a warp in, build 2 pylons, or 3 pylons if you want to be safe. Or if you're building like Colossus or something like this. So yeah, we're moving across the map now. Got 2 Archons, got my Oracles, got all these units, a couple more Zealots warped in, and now here is the aggressive bit. We're sending our 2 Archons and Warp Prism into the main base, and you want to time it so that it arrives as you have 8 gateways ready to warp in. So I'm going to select my gateways, just so we can see how I time this up. It's going to arrive as all 8 are finished. And I'm going to be pushing the front at the exact same time. Use the Oracles to clear creep into the main base. Warp in 8 Zealots, go, go, go. And push the front, clear up that creep. I'm attacking the 4th base, as we can see, and I'm into the main base. Now, the Zerg player has a choice here, okay? What base does he want to defend? Does he defend the main base? Does he defend the front? Whichever base he defends, you warp in at the other location. It's very, very simple. As we can see here, he's defending in the main base. So I believe I warp in I guess he sort of splits it. Let's find out where I warp in. Okay, since we're winning the main base fight so handily, I'm actually probably going to warp into the main base here. Yep. Just keep warping in. I kill a Spire. I kill 8 drones. I'm going back on the third base. Anytime his units come down here, I just pull back. If I'm not confident in taking the fight. In this case, I think I get some nice force fields off. Let's have a look. Yep, some nice force fields. And at this point, I mean, Risky's just dead. I've done so much damage. His main base is gone. It's in tatters. I'm going to kill the 4th base. Yeah, at this point, the game's over. He actually sends his drones back into his main base right now in this Archon. 15 kills. Ooh, 18. 22. What a Chad Archon. But yeah, as you can see, this kind of timing is very, very powerful. We get 8 gateways, and we send the War Prism into the main base at the exact same time. And that's where the strength is. We pull the Zerg player apart, and when the Zerg can't micro, Chargelot's Archons become so much stronger, because you need to be kiting back constantly, and they can't kite back on 2 fronts. But yeah, if we just keep going through this game, I mean, this game's over. He's just going to choose to tap out in a sec. And as I retreat, what am I doing? I'm adding +2 attack, chrono boosting out Immortals, taking a 4th base, building more Archons, shield batteries so I don't die to any sort of counter attack, using some Oracle Energy now for stasis wards. And yeah, if we just speed through this, we'll see that there's nothing he can do. He's dead at this point in the game. But yeah, this is a really nice build. And the real difference that I found that this made was I had to build the Twilight Council before my Robo and before my 3rd base. So it's Twilight Council before 3rd base, and then Robo Forge at the same time. And then just with the DT tech, it really lines up quite nicely. And this is the kind of stuff that I think we've seen Zest beat Serral with, that kind of stuff. This build is very, very good for catching opponents off guard. So there we go. GG was called. That's all I have for you this video. Nice and quick timing attack, something that if you're really, really good at doing and you can hit very sharp timings with, you're going to win a lot of games with this and gain a lot of MMR. It's a fun build. It's an enjoyable build. Something that I just, recommend. If you guys like this content, please think about hitting that like button and the subscribe button down below as well. Or as always, I'll include, actually you guys asked for the replays, so I'll be including the replay in every video as well. Just from now on, I'm not going to go back and do the rest because some of those replays are long gone, but from now on I'll always include the replay, so I'll put that in the description as well. Okay guys, have a very good time on the ladder with this build. Good luck and peace out.